I'm summoning my UFO. I'm opening up my LFO. I'm instigating the crash. Got my purple whoops, man. I'm gonna set this city alight. I'm going higher tonight, yeah. I can see the world from my satellite. I'm going higher tonight, yeah. I'm gonna set this city alight. I'm going higher tonight, yeah. I can see the world from my satellite. I'm liberating the slaves, so keep it steady and flow. Ain't never gonna cut you no slack. Feel better when I'm popping my tracks. The city's ready to blow, 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 blow. Got my purple whoops, man. Gonna keep on dancing. I'm just gonna keep on dancing. I'm going higher tonight, yeah. I'm gonna set this city alight. I'm going higher tonight, yeah. I can see the world from my satellite. I'm going higher tonight, yeah. I'm gonna set this city alight. I'm going higher tonight. I can see the world from my satellite.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational. Hopefully your appetite has been whetted by the wonderful stuff that's gone on at the Home Story Cup earlier. Also, we got to see a rare treat indeed, a best-of-3 show match between Bbyong and Stork in Brood War, but now you get an even rarer treat. A treat that up until today has never existed on this earth. My name is Totalbiscuit, and of course I'm joined by really the only guy who could ever possibly cast something like that with me.
Thank you, Totalbiscuit. I am just way too happy to be here this morning once again. This has been a fantastic tournament so far, especially day one. If you're just tuning in out the semifinals, make sure you watch the first day's group. It was out of control. If there's one group that you watch this month, watch that one.
Yeah, you absolutely should. And all the VODs are already up. We've actually even got 3 out of 5 of the Korean VODs. If for some reason you're Korean tuned in and can understand what I'm saying, one, why are you here? Go to twitch.tv/crank, listen to the Korean cast. But secondly, we did manage to get some of the Korean VODs up. Unfortunately, there were a few problems. They actually did have an issue or two with some of their VODs, so we did lose a couple of those, which kind of sucks. But the VODs from day 1 and 2 are up, and they're, of course, spoiler-free. So if you didn't want to know how we got to this point, then you can still watch it. But really, if you've got to day 3, we're gonna have to kind of spoil it for you. Because, honestly, there's only 4 of the 8 original contestants left. And it's best of 7s from here on in as well.
Best of 7s, man. This is not one of those casual tournaments that you get to see all the time. No, this is for reals. Best of 7, you're going to get the best player coming out almost every single time in a best of 7.
That you are. And it's actually a rare format for quite a few of these players. I was wondering whether Flash had ever played a best of 7 TVT. And of course, I knew he'd played a couple of best of 7s in StarCraft 2 because he went to MLG and got really far, where of course their finals are kind of best of 7. So that happened. But what I discovered is that he has never played a televised best of 7 in either Brood War or StarCraft 2 in TVT, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I can definitely say that he hasn't played it in Brood War since all the league finals generally were best of 5.
Right? Yeah.
And then in StarCraft 2, of course, he just hasn't done really well enough to do a best of 7, right? So this is some new, fresh ground, and a matchup that we don't even get to see top Koreans play hardly at all right now, which is TVT itself. It's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, I think it will be. And he hasn't even played all that many TVT series in StarCraft 2. TVT's become a little bit of a rare thing outside of Pro League lately, unfortunately. And we don't really see Flash outside of Pro League that much anyway, so TVT a bit rare, Flash playing it even rarer still, Flash playing best of 7 TVT, so rare it has never happened. And it will happen tonight.
Well, that is rarer than the dinosaurs at this point. Jurassic Park taking place here on twitch.tv/Totalbiscuit. Tell your friends, it's going to be absolute madness. And, you know, in Korea, this is the second GSL Coda season in a row with no TVT, so I don't even really remember what the matchup looks like aside from a few Pro League matches, man. In a best of 7, how do you even plan for that right now?
Yeah, it's really strange considering there has been a change to Terran, as we are well aware, with the Armory Hellbat change. And I wonder if that will factor in. In early Heart of the Swarm, Hellbats were a big deal. In fact, TVT, many were complaining that TVT was dead because it had been replaced with Hellbats and Hellbats. And that beautiful chess game, things like I remember Flash versus Bbyong, which was an absolutely phenomenal game, and many other great TVTs, actually. Most of them involving Bbyong, funnily enough, in Wings of Liberty. And then, of course, we got about 2 months of Hellbat drops, and it was maybe the worst thing of all time. But now we've got the TVT back. We just don't get to see it that often.
That's right. I don't know what it's going to look like because, like you, I remember when Hellbats were the thing. You know, I remember just a bunch of, like, Innovation and Bomber are the two that pop out in my mind, just dropping, like, 4 medevacs full of Hellbats onto each other. It was completely crazy. Will we see that here? Well, the Hellbat is still not as good as it was back then, but it is a possibility. You know, these guys do mix and mech from time to time. And if you open up Hellbats, it's going to transition nicely into that. So, who knows?
Yeah, I hope it ends up being really, really awesome, frankly. And I think with players of this caliber it will be. We should probably first kind of look at their head-to-head when it comes to Flash versus Bbyong, because they have clashed a couple of times before.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, they just played in Pro League like the other day. I want to say on Sunday this week. I remember watching it. It was on Outboxer, actually. And Bbyong actually kind of smashed Flash. He put on some early aggression with some Reapers and Hellions and managed to kill enough SCVs that Flash just really didn't have a way to come back there. So recently, Bbyong outperforming Flash in the matchup at least.
Indeed. Historically, and of course this goes back quite a way, in StarCraft 2, the current record is 3 sets to 1 in favor of... Actually, sorry, 3 maps to 1 in favor of Flash. It's 2 sets to 1. The only best of 3 that they played was in WCS 2013 Season 2 in Premier League, and it was 2-0 for Flash there.
Okay. Well, you know, back then, Bbyong hadn't come into his full form. He's definitely a much better player now. And, of course, Flash is better, too. But Bbyong is the one that's really come miles and miles since then. So, you know, between these two, who is supposed to win this? In a best of 7, it's... I've been hemming and hawing in my own head, Totalbiscuit. What do you think? Who takes this?
It's really, really hard to call, honestly, because both of these guys at the moment are kind of Pro League heroes. And that means that they don't get the chance to play best of 7s outside of those very rare circumstances where maybe in the playoffs they end up in a situation where they're all killing or close to all killing, right? So otherwise, they're just preparing for 1 map a week at most. So
yeah,
I still have to kind of give the edge to Flash just a little bit, just purely on the experience standpoint. Like, it's not like we haven't seen him play best of 7s before, and even when he was way worse than he is now, when he was kind of first starting off in StarCraft 2, when his skill level wasn't anywhere near as close as it was, he was still putting out great long series, because he was just breaking out so many different builds, he was comfortable with experimentation, and his decision-making was there, as of course was his control, and that's evolved over time. Bbyong is still playing some incredible stuff, but again, is very focused on Pro League. I think it's going to be quite close. If it ends up being a 4-0 in either direction, 1, I'll be very disappointed, and 2, I'll be extremely surprised.
I don't think it can be a 4-0, really. TVT for these guys, I assure you, is the matchup that they practice the least right now. It's just something you don't run into as much. You know, it's really just a few Pro League maps. So I think it's going to be hard for either player to completely have the other one out-prepared, and I think that their skill levels are actually just too close to have it be something like a 4-0. I think this matchup is really going to run the full gamut. We're going to see all sorts of strats. We're going to see mechs, rushes, regular bio tank play, Hellbat drops probably mixed in there at some point. You know, 7 games is a lot of games, and there should be some variety in here.
Yeah, and that also means that the veto process, of course, takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to explain how vetoes actually work in SHOUTcraft for Best of 7 here. We changed our format round just a little bit, and that was at the behest of the pros. We consulted many Korean pros and, of course, our own guys as to the preferred format, because we said, look, we want to do Best of 7. How is it best done? And the consensus was they think there's really about 7 decent maps in the map pool right now. Funnily enough, Altazim came up as one that wasn't, so that was removed. So we said, all right.
No surprise there.
No. But they still wanted to have a veto, because they believe that if a series goes on long enough, it can kind of peter out towards the end, simply because there are still maps in the pool that are very good for certain races. Now, that's not going to matter today, because it's all mirrors today, but it does, of course, matter in the finals and the bronze match, where there's a lot of money on the line. So what we did was we said, okay, we're going to allow for 1 veto per player, and that is going to leave you with a 5-map pool. And once we have that 5-map pool, we will pick the order in which that 5-map pool goes. So a coin flip will designate player A and player B. In this case, the coin flip has been done. Flash is player A and Bbyong is player B. So Flash gets to veto first, and Bbyong gets to veto second. At that point, Flash will then pick the first map. Bbyong will follow, and it will keep going until we run out of maps in that 5-map pool. Now you might be asking, what the hell happens after that? Because you run out of maps, right? Well, we decided what we'll do is we'll take that 5-map pool. So the maps that are vetoed out for the entire series, the whole best of 7. And we'll refresh it, and we will do new picks. And it will be A-B once again. So we will get a new map from that 5-map pool, which will be something we've already seen in the series, and then we'll get the other one. And they will both be picked at that moment. So there'll be a break to allow that to actually happen.
Well, I think we probably will get that far, so it should be pretty exciting. They are actually doing the vetoes right now, and just to show kind of the mindset of these guys, it looks like Flash has vetoed Habitation Station, and Bbyong has vetoed King Sejong Station. So, wasn't expecting the Sejong Station to be taken out like that, but all right, we'll see what that means for him.
Yeah, it is interesting. Of course, Sejong Station is a map that is fairly new to the pool. Maybe it's something that, in combination with the rarity of TBT, that maybe they're just not comfortable having in that pool. We've seen a lot of great games on it, but how when was the last TBT you got to see on King Sejong?
Oh, God. I have no idea, and I guess it would be kind of a brutal map. You look at how the natural minerals are, you're going to get a lot of harassment in there. There's a lot of surface area to get in that main base with medevacs and banshees. I guess it's a good veto, and with flashing out Habitation Station, he doesn't want to play some crazy, cheesy game, so these guys are really trying to set this up as best they can for themselves.
Yeah, and it does take a little longer as a result. There's some discussion going on in the chat at the moment, just making sure that they understand absolutely everything. I think Crank is re-explaining the system to them here. Of course, this was all given out